I have on my back a pack that is purpose built for world travel and is designed specifically to make that process as streamlined and covert as possible. And I spent just under a week living out of this bag as I traveled to Blade Show Atlanta to see what the capabilities of this bag truly are. And we are going to be unpacking today the Michael Easter 2% collection by GORUCK, and is exclusively available through one of our regular sponsors here at the channel, huckberry. Now the bag is built on the GR2 platform, but it has several design features and materials that you're not gonna really find on any other GORUCK pack. Now who the heck is Michael Easter and why should we care? Well, he is a world adventurer and best-selling author of the book, The Comfort Crisis, which was inspired by a 33-day Arctic hunting trip. He has traveled to some of the most dangerous places on Earth, appeared on the Joe Rogan podcast, which is where I actually first heard of him. And the whole deal with the 2% is that when the escalators are right next to a set of stairs, only 2% of the population will choose the stairs, focusing on the harder but more growth-oriented path that staircases represent. And as an added bonus, in this video, I'm gonna share my travel-ready EDC items that I carried in this bag as I flew to the Atlanta Blade Show. And as someone who's been blessed to travel all over the world, including places like Cambodia, Haiti, Egypt, Russia, just to name a few, I am really curious to see what this bag is capable of when we're looking at a dedicated, one and done carry-on system. So guys, if you're new to the channel, welcome. Let's go ahead and dive on in and have some fun. Now, right from the get-go, there's a culvert pocket underneath my left shoulder strap. It's just a piece of elastic, but it allows you to tuck slim items like cash for an emergency, or items like what I've been carrying consistently in that pocket, some Kevlar cordage. You never know when you might need some reinforced cordage for an emergency situation, but having little stash pockets like that is a nice touch. Now they've added 2 side pockets that we normally don't find on most GORUCK designs. They're ambidextrous, but they're different. On this side, I have taped a little bit of blue tape to indicate that this is the water bottle pocket. You pull down on that tassel, and then it will accommodate most 32-ounce Nalgene's because of the flexible mesh backer. It's kind of like a neoprene flexible thing right there. It's a little tight when the bag is fully packed out, but I can fit it in there. If you have like a 3-inch diameter or smaller and kind of taller water bottle, that might be ideal. Now, what's a little bit interesting is on the opposite side, it looks the same, and that's why I indicated the blue to indicate for the water bottle, because this is not a water bottle pocket. This orange is rigid, and it's a very thin, narrow pocket, which will not accommodate most water bottles. It's designed more for like your phone, your wallet, maybe a boarding pass. I found that I really didn't even use this pocket in my travels, and so if it was my preference, I would actually just prefer to have them both designed with mesh backers so they could both accommodate water bottles if necessary. Now the 40-liter GR2 is dimensionally designed to fit within TSA regulations for carry-on luggage. So I was easily able to carry this on to all my flights, and it fits perfectly in overhead compartments. Along with its build, GORUCKs are built to be tough, and it's built out of 420 denier Robic nylon, which is tough, durable, water resistant, and helps cut down on some weight. Now, one of the reasons I'm connecting so well with this bag is because it's so low profile and unassuming. You wear a black t-shirt with this black bag, you're gonna disappear. In fact, on one of my flights, they came over the loudspeaker while we were getting checked in and said, we are going to be checking all carry-on luggage moving forward because we're running out of space. I didn't want that, so go up, show my ticket. They scan the person right in front of them. They had to check their carry-on. The person right behind me had to do it. They let me coast right on through. So that level of just streamlined invisibility is an added bonus. Then as we flip the bag and we look here at the shoulder straps, you have that contouring but definitely kind of an old school rucking design, lots of durability. That's what GORUCK is known for. You're gonna get that ladder system all the way down. It does not come with a sternum strap. I feel like it would be nice for GORUCK to send these bags with sternum straps. You can buy their own versions, or I just went to an online retailer and just picked up a generic one that will fit right through there, just giving you a little extra cinching down when you have a lot of weight and you have a lot of trekking to do with the bag. Then finally on the back side here, we have that non-mesh material, and same on the shoulder straps, which is durable. So they're trading breathability for durability. And I think as a bag that is designed to be in and out, especially of like carry-on compartments, maybe you are checking it. I mean, I did not, but lots of travel back and forth, less snag points, I feel like the better. So the trade-off of durability, especially in this type of design, makes sense over like breathable mesh. But leave a comment, what do you guys prefer? Do you prefer the more durable, kind of non-porous nylons and materials like this, or do you like the mesh better? And on the back side, and this is where all of your support is, with a very rigid, removable polymer sleeve that goes in right there. So we have dueling main compartments with these massive water resistant YKK zippers that go all the way down so you can fully clamshell the bag. I love that. Makes it very easy to access your different gear and apparel that you're carrying, with tons, so many pockets inside here. We're gonna start up here, and as promised, we're gonna look at kind of some EDC travel items, some of my favorite stuff that I took with me as I was traveling to Blade Show. This big pocket up here is excellent for keeping a lot of kind of bulkier items, like a smaller, kind of thinner hat, 5-panel hat. And then you have 2 mesh dividers in here. Perfect for stuff like your charging bank, my little toggle for the charger. I always like carrying, here's a little pro tip, wired backup earbuds, so that if your Bluetooth ones die, at least you can still have something to listen to your podcast or whatever while you're traveling. Field notes, as well as a pen, just like a normal writing pen. And then what I really like to do recently is have a NITE headband. So this will hold your EDC flashlight. I regularly carry the NITECORE MT1A. So this will run on a rechargeable battery, but also can take AA's. Excellent. And you can actually run this in here. And so then you have a headlamp, or you can take this NITE gear tie and wrap it around and then make it like a little stand, and then you have like a little work light. So very, very cool, and you can do all kinds of stuff with that NITE gear tie. So illumination when traveling, important. Then this is super cool, just found this kind of on a whim. It's a Sharpie, and you can just replace the Sharpies. And I know they make like G10 tips as well, but it has a clip and a ring. So not only is it just like fun to play around with, but gives you a defensive tool potentially, and taking that through wherever, because it's just a pen cap basically. And then when you're not flying and maybe you're traveling in a different capacity, my now discontinued Leatherman Charge with G10 handles, freaking awesome. That is my favorite kind of all-arounder Leatherman tool. Very, very highly recommended. So that's just a little kind of EDC kit when you're not flying and having to go through checkpoints, stuff like that. Gear that I like to carry in there. If you're doing that and you're flying, I didn't take the Leatherman with me, while I was flying. But outside of EDC gear, clothing, right? I mean, that's the whole point of why you're bringing this, hopefully. So there's tons of organization. I love this. So I don't have to buy secondary bags to organize my clothing. This compartment right here is where I carried most of my main clothes. So I can have like my Proof wool hiking pants, freaking awesome for travel. And then I got my Proof wool, outer layer right there. Those fit in there, no problem. And then I got a couple t-shirts, and then my pair of shorts. Now the zippers are opposite, so it kind of gives you a little bit of help to know which is where. And so this one is a little bit smaller, and that's why I use it for my socks and underwear. But I can easily get a week's worth of socks and underwear into that compartment. And then the Michael Easter by Huckberry. It's kind of cool, just indicating what that is. And that's a cool rubber too. I like that. It's like a rubberized kind of print. So anyway, so then this is kind of where I put my quick items that I just need, you know, like deodorant, I have a deodorant wipe, some butt wipes, hand sanitizer, that type of stuff. You can just go in there very easily, or just whatever else you want to organize. Now this is a GORUCK bag, so we know the quality and layout is there, but it costs to get that level of performance. And this is gonna be going for just over $400. And I know that's a pretty penny for many of us. And if you're someone who travels once or twice a year with the family, checks luggage, you know, this bag probably is not for you. But as someone who traveled all over the world in my younger life and carried all my equipment on with me, I went back and added up the cost of several carry-on bags I've purchased over the years, and it totaled over $700. And I can tell you, none of those bags have the build quality and layout that this GORUCK offers. So if you are someone who travels a lot and you want to have your eyes on your gear at all times and not check it and hope to God it arrives at some far-flung destination, this bag is ideally designed for that person. So if you feel like this bag is speaking to you, I'll have a link popping up over to Huckberry where you can explore this series along with all the other GORUCK bags that they carry. I appreciate them sending the sample over to me to be able to test, use, show you pros, cons, to help you make a wise choice on whether or not this is the ideal travel bag for your upcoming trips. Now we're gonna get into the secondary main compartment, which again, you could put clothing if you wanted to, but I tend to put more bulky items being a videographer, like all my video equipment. So I mean, this could again just carry so much clothing or so much gear and really be the one-stop shop. Now I have enough space for a whole like laptop sleeve. This is actually for all of my like designs and stuff I'm sketching and working on right there. Say when. Shout out Val Kilmer. We miss you and love you. Now here is how I was traveling when I went to Blade Show. Had all my camera equipment, easily can fit mini tripods, selfie sticks, things like that. I took all three of those with me. Camera equipment, no problem. And you can just see how thick and bulky that was. And that's on top of all the clothing that I have. And this is a little EDC roll and then a full med kit. You have a full sleeve right here with, again, the padded bottom that you could easily accommodate most laptops. I'll try and annotate in what they estimate it to be, but this could easily handle my large MacBook, no problem. Molly wall with like, I don't know, triple stitch right there. So you could attach some extra either rip away or Molly compatible pouches up there to kind of distribute the weight. Another mesh organizational clothing pocket or whatever. You put your dirty clothes is what I ended up doing with this compartment. So as they got dirty, I'd put them over here. So I knew not to mix them. So awesome. And then up here, just my toiletries and things like that, making it easy to grab. And so I hope that you guys have gotten a good picture in real time of what this bag is capable of, what its limitations are, and whether or not it makes sense for you and how you like to travel. I invite you to check out the other videos, subscribe if you haven't, ask any questions that you may have. I'll do my best to answer them in the comment section. And until next time, always remember to stay equipped, stay prepared, and I'll see you out there.